For joining us today for the interview. I have three questions I'd like to ask you just to get a sense of your skills from the past, from past behavior, how I can recognize who you are now. So my first question to you is, have you ever saved your company money by scheduling or organizing an event better than it was originally planned?
So, as far as saving money by organizing an event better than it was originally planned, not exactly, but I have saved a lot of money over the years by rewriting our contract when we send them to venues. So, I noticed at one point when we were sending our contract to different venues, we weren't asking on our writer for drinks, specifically Red Bull and Gatorade. Now, our band and our crew, they go through a lot of Red Bull in a weekend. I'm talking 2 to 3 cases. Every weekend, we were having to buy these. Instead of having to go out and spend the money, which is about $20 to $30 per case, depending on how big of a case you get, I put it in our rider that we require 2 cases of Red Bull every show and 2 cases of Gatorade. That in turn saved us at least a couple $100 every weekend. So we then continued this, and over the years, we've changed it to different things that different people in our band enjoy.
Very good. Sounds like a beneficial change. My second question for you is, have you ever received praise from a client directed to you or your higher ups for having solved an important issue to them?
One time I can think of where I received praise from a client was when our manager, who does a lot of different business things when it comes to touring and our online sales, ended up forgetting to send some products when an online sale happened. So I was able to go into our system on our POS at the show itself, look at our online order history, and I was able to verify that this person had in fact ordered products from us 3 weeks prior and had not been shipped out yet. I got the product to them immediately at the show and was able to offer a return of their shipping cost online to their credit card on spot. They were extremely happy, and it was very beneficial to them to not have to wait another week to have the product shipped to them. So they were very excited about that.
Perfect. That sounds very good. And then my third and final question will be, have you ever quelled any social tensions among your coworkers, leading to a better work environment?
Well, when you're living on a tour bus with 12 different people, there tend to be a lot of tension, high tensions. A thing that I would like to do is whenever people were arguing, I would encourage everyone to sit down and just air it out in an open environment to let everyone know, like, hey, well, not everyone, but anyone who's involved, hey, this is how I'm feeling, whether it be something someone said or did, because a lot of the time it was just a miscommunication. It was someone saying, get out of my way when they were busy instead of saying, hey, I need you to move, please, I'm trying to do something. So getting out in the open was able to help a lot of those tensions go from high tension to low tension to no tension just by talking freely about it.
That's a good resolution. Well, that concludes the interview. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Hi, I'm so happy to have you in here today for an interview. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, thank you for having me.
I had just had 3 questions for you real quick. The first question, and these are going to be behavioral questions just to kind of assess your past experience and how you handle certain situations. The first question is going to be, have you ever worked on a team where you had to help resolve issues among teammates?
So this reminds me of a situation when I was a sound technician with a corporation called PSAV. Since it's a corporation, you have lots of different people doing lots of different jobs with lots of different personalities. So every now and then we would rotate on who would have to schedule certain people to work together in different parts of, for example, where the event was taking place. On the days where I would usually schedule this, I would approach everyone based on their personality and based on the skill that they could provide, may they be lacking or better than other people. So usually I would receive praise from my managers for having coupled the right teams together in order to maybe even finish a job before the scheduled termination. So we were ahead of time. So that was very beneficial, in my opinion.
That's excellent. It's great time management skills too. Have you ever been under pressure to resolve an issue for a client or manager, and how did you handle it?
So, in my experience as a property manager, um, sometimes you have an issue arise, for example, an AC unit stops working in the middle of the summer, or a heater stops working in the middle of the winter. And that needs to be resolved as soon as possible, because if not, the tenant is going to be freezing in their apartment or sweating to death in their apartment. So you have a very quick, you have a very limited amount of time in order to get in there and fix it, but you also don't want to go over budget. So it's up to you to go in there, see if you can solve the problem yourself, save the apartments a lot of money by not having to call an AC unit repair guy or heater repair guy, and get it done quickly. And I did that over a period of 5 years, never had any tenants move out. Everyone was very satisfied, and I would always save the company, the apartments, a lot of money, and also keep the tenants happy by doing everything in a quickly manner.
Excellent. And the final question, can you give me an example of a time when you used what you believe to be your most compassionate trait to help a client?
So during my experience as a brand ambassador or a promoter of certain liquor brands, I found a client that not only was she trying to buy a large quantity of a certain type of alcohol for me for her event, but she was also having car problems. And I asked her, because I usually work on my own car, well, what does it sound like? What noise is it giving you? She explained the noise, and I immediately knew what it was. It was the brake and the rotor system that was wearing down. So I kindly offered her my free of charge services to help her fix her car, which I'm glad I did, because it was very dangerous the way she was letting it go. And that actually led to a professional relationship where I was able to work with her more for events, supplying her alcohol. And I think that compassion pushed it a little further, so people trust you and want to work with you more. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for coming in today, and I really enjoyed talking with you. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.